Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade as law of the land would mean abortion access depends on where you live. Good evening, I'm Vince Ibarra.
And I'm Mercedes Martinez. Thank you for joining us. No federal protection would lead to a patchwork of state abortion laws running the gamut from outright bans to constitutional protections. CBS's Michael George explains.
If the U.S. Supreme Court acts to overturn Roe v. Wade, the issue of abortion rights would be kicked back to the states to decide.
As long as I'm governor of Illinois, and as long as we have a pro-choice legislature, abortion will be legal in this state.
We want fewer abortions in Virginia, not more.
Many states are already prepared for action in both directions. 13 have so-called trigger laws on the books, which would ban or greatly restrict abortion automatically if Roe is overturned. 16 states and the District of Columbia already have laws protecting abortion rights.
The outcome will not be that abortion is suddenly illegal everywhere. The outcome will be that each state will decide.
I think it's going to be chaos. There's no question.
Jody Hicks is president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California, a declared reproductive freedom state.
In California, for instance, we're already seeing patients from Texas. We're already seeing patients from Arizona, and their ban hasn't gone into effect. In many states, patients are going to have to travel outside of the state that they live.
For some who have worked to overturn Roe, change is a long time coming.
We're excited that people are realizing the importance of life from conception to natural death.
Hicks says some 36 million women across the country could be affected, but the greatest impact will be on low-income individuals and people of color. Michael George, CBS News.
Moving on now, the Arizona ACLU is weighing in on the leak as a potential opinion to overturn Roe versus Wade would come on the heels of a bill passed in Arizona earlier this year, which bans abortion after 15 weeks. The policy director is concerned, should Roe versus Wade be overturned, that state lawmakers may look to further limit abortions. However, without further action by lawmakers, Arizonans would still be able to legally access an abortion, even if the Supreme Court officially decides to change that precedent.
If Roe v. Wade were to be overturned, Arizonans could still access abortion not only in places like California, but they could access abortion in Arizona. We still have the legal right to abortion, and that remains into effect until we get new law or a new court decision in Arizona.
For now, abortions remain federally protected, but according to the abortionfinder.org, there is not a location in Yuma where a woman can access a legal abortion. Now, the closest provider would be in El Centro, and the closest in-state provider is Planned Parenthood in Glendale.
And some Imperial Valley residents are divided about the leak.
Yeah, our reporter Wiley Johari continues our team coverage tonight from El Centro.
A domino effect indeed, starting at the Supreme Court, trickling all the way down here to Imperial Valley locals who some say are disappointed over the recent turn of events, and Planned Parenthood also not taking too kindly to this news.
I want to be clear that we are going to fight like hell to reclaim our rights. Roe were to be overturned and abortion rights would go back to the states. We anticipate that about 26 states, including Arizona, would eliminate or highly restrict access to abortion.
Planned Parenthood says it's ready to put up a fight. A woman's right to have an abortion through the first trimester of pregnancy was protected nationally in 1973, following the Supreme Court's landmark ruling. But now tables may be turning after a leak revealed the Supreme Court could be planning to strike down the landmark decision.
And I just came to realize that it's more of a pro-choice for me because there's different situations. I mean, for one, what if the woman never wanted to get pregnant and, she got pregnant by some unfortunate incident?
Lopez believes it's not a black or white decision and that it should depend on the circumstance. But in the state of California, Governor Gavin Newsom in a statement reaffirming abortion is protected. In California, a woman can get an abortion up until her fetus becomes viable, which is usually between 24 and 28 weeks of pregnancy. However, many providers stop offering abortion earlier in pregnancy. Now, abortion access is unlikely to change here in California, even if the landmark law were to be struck down. Reporting in El Centro, I'm Wiley Jahari.
Thank you, Wiley, for that informative update. Now, folks, this story leads us to the topic of the day. Do you think abortion laws should be decided by each state? Go ahead and leave us your votes and leave a comment. We want to hear what you guys think. You can go to kyma.com/polls, or you can go ahead and scan the QR code that you see on your screen, and it'll take you directly to the poll of the day. And don't forget to tune in tonight at 10 to see those final results.
Moving on tonight, it's been a long 2-year process, but Imperial County was finally awarded a $4.4 million grant to assist more than a dozen families that were impacted by the Nyland fire.
Vanessa Gongora spoke with the deputy CEO who made it all possible.
In June of 2020, 43 Nyland homes were destroyed in a brush fire. Many families were placed into RV homes donated by the state. Now these families are celebrating the good news. A new grant to help the victims of the Nyland fire. All possible thanks to one person, Imperial County Deputy CEO Esperanza Colio.
So this grant actually brings hope for them to recover their home and to go back to their community. And all of them want to go back to the community. They have been living in the community for 20 to 30 years, and you can take them away from their own community.
Colio says with the amount given, they will be able to assist 18 to 20 families.
We estimating that each one of the houses are going to be somewhere in between $230,000 to rebuild the homes. And we're talking about a very tiny home. It's not a large house.
The county is not required to assist the families with the replacement of their homes. However, the Board of Supervisors take proactive actions to try to assist the families by approving staff to search and apply for grants. Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia says it's a breath of fresh air.
That was a horrible situation for many families out there, and those circumstances will be improved thanks to this $4 million state grant.
One Imperial County fire chief says it was a tragic situation to watch.
In a few words, it was devastating to see this fire in real time, and all of our operation, all of our resources were thrown at it to resolve and try to prevent it from spreading further.
Estrada gives a lot of credit to Colio for making this grant happen.
We called her the Golden Goose for a reason. She goes out there and has been advocating for the grant and finally got it, so we're happy to see it come to fruition.
The county submitted the application for the grant in May of 2021 and received approval this past March. Colio says they're expecting the executed contract for funding to be arriving next month. Reporting in Imperial County, I'm Vanessa Gongora.
Moving on now, we're taking a live look outside using our RV World of Yuma Skycam. You can see the clear skies for the most part. I mean, you can still see the mountains in the background, which is really nice. And traffic's lightened up in this second half hour of our newscast. It looks like it's not too busy, but of course, as the night continues, traffic just keeps flowing. But coming up in just a little bit, we're going to take a look at your full weather forecast, so stick around for that.
On to a border update tonight. 2 migrants suffered heat-related injuries after attempting to cross through the desert. While 10 station Border Patrol agents arrived to the Mohawk Mountains about 15 miles south of Interstate 8. Agents called for an air ambulance for one of the migrants who lost consciousness during the standard medical evaluation. When paramedics arrived, a secondary air ambulance was requested for the other migrant. The Yuma sector says both migrants were taken to Phoenix and Yuma area hospitals for further treatment.
Thousands of immigrants in the United States will automatically have their work permits extended for at least 6 more months. The Department of Homeland Security made the announcement Tuesday that the move is to address the backlog of renewals. Immigrants allowed to work in the U.S. must renew their work permits on a regular basis. The office estimates around 87,000 applicants are up for renewal or soon up for renewal, and the process often takes years to complete. The new rule is intended to try and keep immigrants from losing their jobs as they await that approval. If asylum seekers file for renewal before their permit expires, the new regulation will automatically extend it for up to 18 months. Without those renewal grants granted, work permits would lapse and employers would have to terminate the workers, and that could further disrupt the supply chain in the U.S. The new regulation takes effect on Wednesday.
Nearly 1 year since a family lost their child in a hit and run, they still have no answers and no one to hold accountable for their loss.
Yeah, 13 on your side reporter Arlette Yusuf spoke with the grieving father.
A father.
I remember when he was this big, you know, and he used to get cuts, and I used to put Band-Aids on them or give him kisses, and
Left with only memories.
like there's not a Band-Aid big enough to fix this. I wish there was.
Brent Perez lost his son nearly a year ago on May 5th, and sadly also lost his mother to COVID 7 months later.
18-year-old Alan Cunningham was riding his bike at night with two friends when he and one of his friends were struck by a car on West 32nd Street near 15th Avenue. Cunningham didn't survive.
Like it just feels, it doesn't feel so unreal. Like
The driver and the vehicle took off, never to be seen since. Yuma police say witnesses described the car as a light color 2011 to 2013 Chrysler 200. Perez says he doesn't believe his son's death was an accident and asks anyone who knows anything to come forward.
just put yourself in my shoes. You know, wouldn't you want justice? Wouldn't you want your loved one to be able to finally rest? You know, and get and then the family get the closure. You know, I just please urge you guys.
Perez and his family and friends are gathering at Joe Henry Memorial Park this coming Saturday, May 7th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. to honor Cunningham. Cunningham's father says he hopes it encourages anyone, to come forward about what happened to his son.
I miss him every day.
YPD asks anyone with information about this crime to contact them at the number on your screen or 78 Crime to remain anonymous. Reporting in Yuma, Arlette Yusuf, 13 on your side.
Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday.